think everything's working. I'm in a YouTube channel. For those of you who are unaware, student congressional debate is a format of debate within the US where students compete in a mock student congress that kind of mirrors the version of the actual government congress. Students, often in middle school and high school, will write legislation and then give speeches on it. And they talk about every issue under the sun, from minimum wage to environmental issues to international policy to constitutional amendments. Long story short, Congress is this weird middle child of speech and debate where it's too speechy for debate, but too debatey for speech. And as a result, you just get this Mod Podge meld of a bunch of different people having an idea of what Congress is. But the funny thing is that the majority of them don't actually read the rule book. The NSDA guide has been updated a couple times since 2017. It's by no means a complete idea of what Congress has to offer, and while it gives you the technical rules, it doesn't go through strategy or different ways that you can mess with a PO in chamber or how to lobby for an agenda. And that's the stuff that I want to teach, because I spent so long trying to learn all of these things. I have a bunch of stories from my time at war, and it was successful in my case. A lot of coaches just throw their kids in Congress and hope that the best turns out for them. I'm not saying that's necessarily the umbrella that you fit under, and maybe you're a coach who wants to start a Congress team and do it correctly, or a captain who's trying to get some semblance of organization to their Congress team, or a Congress kiddo who's actually just looking for help that's self-directed rather than the coaches and whatever resources you have available to you. But whatever the case may be, this channel is going to be a hub for student congressional debaters. For a little bit of background, my name is Alexandra Smith, and I was a student congressional legislator in the House from 2017 to 2021. In 2021, I won the national tournament online, and then in July of that year, I created a company called howtocongress, where I started teaching people virtually how to compete in congressional debate through the pandemic. I competed in congressional debate all throughout high school. In my freshman and sophomore year, I was also doing extemporaneous speaking. Then I got into prose. I also did a bit of LD, big questions, IPPF, bunch of different formats of speech and debate. But Congress is where my interest and my passion was always. Before going any further, I am going to admit that I am not entirely sure what I'm doing. I am trying to create a company, and by that I mean I already created a company, but it is not what I know it could be. Part of the issue is that I don't watch YouTube videos, let alone create them. The majority of the media that I have consumed has been for research purposes since 2017, and whether that's researching extemporaneous topics or congressional legislation, I mainly read media. I don't watch YouTube videos. So I apologize if you're not used to this haphazard but it is what it is, and it is going to be what it is, and I hope that you are able to get value from the videos regardless, because really we're focused on content here, not on video quality. I'm not going to have catchy thumbnails. They'll all be made in Canva. In my junior year of high school, I was elected to be my team's junior captain at large, which is a position that then graduates to the senior captain at large when you're a senior, and their job is to help everyone on the debate team. At the time, I think we had about 60 kids in debate, and half of them were in Congress, and we had too many Congress captains, to be honest. But Claire, a girl who I was working with and saw every single day, was also in Congress, also in my grade, and I worked so very hard to create lesson plans and drills and new ways of explaining Congress to all of the incoming freshmen. We did that in our junior year, and in our senior year, we worked as a captain pair to just solidify everything that we had done. Not only did we teach people how to compete in Congress in our senior year, but also we pursued the national circuit. So most weekends, I think I had 3 or 4 weeks off between halfway through September and January of my senior year, because every single weekend, except Thanksgiving, Christmas, maybe 1 or 2 others, I was competing in Congress with Claire. And every single week we would be on FaceTime, talk about the dockets and the legislation and research. And at the same time that we were doing all of this national circuit prep, about 20 hours a week, we would also be helping our Minnesota kiddos and being captains to them and teaching them, this is how you create a research doc. This is how you structure a constructive speech versus a refutation speech versus a weighing speech versus a crystal speech. This is how you run an amendment. This is how you preside. And we found all of these ways of teaching people, and I loved it. And then I graduated. After graduation, I still had one more tournament to go, the 2021 online national tournament. And I had been at this tournament for the last 2 years. So when it was in Dallas in 2019, I was there. 2020, it was online, and it sucked. And 2021, I was online, and I decided that it wasn't going to be the high pressure environment that I had put myself through the year before. It was unhealthy. I'll talk more about that later. But in 2021, I really just wanted to enjoy myself and remember why I loved Congress. And the reason that I love Congress really is because of presiding. I think that it is such an amazing position for a student to have within a chamber, just to be able to track all of these different things and keep up with the arguments and talk about prefacing and track precedence recency and do all of the questioning and uphold decorum and follow Robert's Rules of Order. And I absolutely loved it. So I wanted to preside my final year. And so after helping all the kiddos with the research briefs and prepping all the legislation anyways, because what happens if you don't get elected, I got to the final chamber and I gave a speech about how the national gavel was large enough to be classified as a weapon by the TSA. And I was very disappointed that I didn't have the opportunity to bring it home on a plane. And most of the people within that chamber I knew. And these are incredible human beings that I had the opportunity of getting to know over the course of 4 years, more or less, a lot of which was online, virtually, through the national circuit. But some of these people I absolutely love. And I had the privilege of presiding for them for the final session. And I won as the presiding officer in 2021. You're given a scholarship by the NSDA that helped me pay for my university. Granted, not significantly, but when you transfer USD to CAD, it does make a difference. And then I decided that I really didn't want to stop my involvement in speech and debate. So in July of that year, I filed for a business license, How to Congress LLC, and then I started holding online meetings, more or less. From the very beginning, my intention was to create value for the people in my program. And I created How to Congress because it's what I would have wanted while I was debating. I couldn't afford the fancy schmancy summer tournaments that you pay $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for 2 weeks worth of content with instructors just a couple years older than you. And I realistically wouldn't have been able to travel by myself, and my parents were very limited in their capacity to travel along with me. And summer camps weren't an option. Videos existed, but they existed from years ago, or they were sessions that were online and grainy. And videos have gotten a lot better, especially with online debate. But I still don't see many videos of people just sitting down and explaining, okay, this is what Congress is. So that's what I'm doing. And at the same time, I'm trying to figure out how to make it a company because I'm a university student and I'm trying to make this profitable so that I'm not putting all of this time into something that is taking my time away from earning money and buying groceries, you know? So that's what I'm doing. I made an LLC. I am learning how to run a company. I am pursuing a degree in business and a bachelor of interdisciplinary social sciences, philosophy, geography, and I love it. I really love what I'm doing. I don't know how to make YouTube videos. I know how to teach Congress, and hopefully one compensates for the other, but if not, find someone else doing it and tell me how to do it better, because frankly, I'll take any help I can get. Anyways, have a wonderful day. Hope that you're all doing well. Thank you very much, and goodbye.